You know I'm right. Episode 8, and that means this episode's going to be great right here on WGSports.com, WG Sports Radio. Nick Durst here, joined once again by Joe Calabrese. And Joe, the sports world is, being turned upside down. More developments each day with the whole situation, and I guess we'll just start with this, the latest news that came out, which is that MLB is going to be participating in a massive coronavirus antibody study with up to 10,000 tests taken nationwide over the next 2 days. Researchers are hoping that the results offer a far better understanding of the coronavirus spread. So this is definitely, I guess, a major step towards potentially having an MLB season, seeing what this study brings out.
Yeah, this is an increasingly positive development. I came across a tweet a little while ago. So baseball is heading the way on this right now. But it seems like all the commissioners of the four major sports, includes Rob Manfred of Major League Baseball, Roger Goodell, then at the NFL, Adam Silver of the NBA, Gary Bettman of the National Hockey League, other prominent sports owners like Robert Kraft and Jerry Jones, and then Dana White and Vince McMahon are part of a large group that's going to help advise Donald Trump on how to restart the economy. So not only is Major League Baseball participating in this study, but they're also heavily involved, working directly with Trump and the rest of the team in the federal government to orchestrate a plan, get sports back to us as soon as they can start, right? So that's a great sign. So going back to the study, yes, 10,000 person study for COVID-19 antibodies. 27 of the 30 Major League Baseball teams are reported to be involved in this study. Some of the bigger market prominent teams have already been confirmed, such as the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Astros. And as of right now, the only team that I have seen through reports that will not be taking part in this study are the Marlins, which I would assume would probably come down.
Derek Jeter. I mean, this guy has got to be the worst owner in MLB right now. I mean, he took a team which was like 2 games out of the playoffs, blew it up. They've done absolutely terrible. No one goes to the games. He's just redone everything. Maybe he ends up being a genius, and a few years from now, everyone's like, wow, look at that job Jeter did with the Marlins. But I don't think any Marlins fan has any excitement about Derek Jeter being their owner. And, this is a little off topic here, but if you look at these two players post-playing career, A-Rod, super, super positive PR. Jeter, his PR, he's taken a PR hit, and it's really incredible when you think about, back to their time in the Yankees together, how loved Derek Jeter was and how hated A-Rod was. Really something special.
Yeah, I mean, his tenureship as an owner so far has not been great. But I would assume the reason why they're not part of the study is probably
money,
directly related to financial reasons. I mean, for them, they were eventually going to sell off anyway, and I think he realizes that the only way the operation's ever really going to truly succeed is if it starts ground up, right? So you need the foundation in place. So hopefully 5 years from now, we're not talking about how Derek Jeter is one of the worst owners in pro sports history. We're talking about how he did good things and was able to revive baseball in Miami. But yeah, quick little tangent.
Yeah, so this is really going to lead into the potential options right now, which are MLB might play all their games in Arizona, or we saw they might play games in Arizona and Florida in the spring training facilities. But the interesting wrinkle here would be that there would be no AL, no NL. There'd be just the two leagues based on the spring trainings, the Grapefruit League and the Cactus League, and you're going to have a universal DH. And Joe, it's scary to think about this, especially with the fact that there's going to be some potential realignment with divisions. What are your thoughts on new potential divisions?
Well, the divisions obviously would be based on stadium and location proximity to where each of the 30 MLB organizations are situated in Florida and Arizona, right?
Yep.
So that would to make sense. It would feel a little weird, obviously. It would take maybe a couple weeks of getting used to before people start to fully realize, like, okay, we're not getting traditional and American League, National League baseball back for the time being. This is the best that they could do under the circumstances, right? So I have the list of all of the potential divisions for the Grapefruit and the Cactus League. You ready for it?
Yep. Let's hear it.
All right. So we're going to start East Coast. We're going to start in Florida. We're going to start with the Grapefruit League, right? So the North Division, which would be the Yankees, who are situated right outside Tampa Bay. I went to spring training last year. A lot of fun, great time. Love Georgia Steinbrenner Field. And the other four teams in that potential division would be the Blue Jays, the Phillies, the Tigers, and the Pirates. You got that?
Yeah, so obviously one of the winners of this realignment are definitely going to be the Yankees. And you're adding in the Tigers to a division that already has the Blue Jays and the Orioles. Oof. I mean, that helps the Phillies too, definitely.
It does.
Wouldn't it be great to see Girardi and the Yankees going at it multiple times a year?
Yeah, it's great. Imagine now having Didi walk to sign with the Phillies. There'll definitely be some tension there. So I'm going to move on now. We're going to go to the South Division.
The hardest division in all of baseball, I think. If this is to come to light, unless that's not the let's hear it. There's two divisions there.
Okay, so we've got the Red Sox. We've got the Braves. We've got the Twins. We've got the Orioles. And hold on, who is this team? The Rangers. No, I'm a liar. Who is that team? The Braves. It's not the Marlins.
Well, who's the other team? The South here is not. It's not that good, actually. I mean, the Braves and the Twins, they'll both be the top two teams there. It's the other division of the Grapefruit League, which is really concerning. So I think the other division...
Who is that?
The other division you have... What do you have? The Astros, Cardinals, Mets. And is the Nationals?
The Nationals and the Marlins.
Right. So that's that sucks for the Mets, who are on Pacoda projections. We're supposed to win the NL East. To add in the Astros and the Cardinals is just absolutely brutal, and that would be a tough division if this actually comes to play.
All right, so that's done. Let's move on to the Cactus League. Are you ready? We got the Northeast, the Diamondbacks, the Cubs, the Rockies, the Giants, and the Athletics.
Athletics can finally win a division title, maybe.
So of all the divisions, I think this is the one least affected because you have three of the NL West teams, right? The Diamondbacks, the Rockies, and the Giants. You have the Cubs, and then you have the Athletics. So you only have one American League crossover. It's a team that's already used to playing games on the West Coast. So this kind of, you're right, it kind of benefits the Athletics the most, potentially the Cubs, I would think, right?
Certainly, because the Cubs, you're thinking, maybe they took a step back, but this could definitely help them. And just to recap, the Grapefruit League, the North, you got the Yankees and Phillies. They're going to benefit the most from being with the Blue Jays, the Tigers, and the Pirates. In the South, you have the Red Sox, Twins, Braves, Rays, and Orioles. So that's actually...
Oh, that's the other team.
So that's like the Twins. That's the Twins and Braves right there. Yep. The East, that's just the most brutal thing to think about. The Marlins might lose every game if they're, but the Nationals, Astros, Mets, and Cardinals. As it is, the NL East is going to be ridiculous, but taking out the Phillies and putting in the Astros and Cardinals, and it's just crazy. In the Northeast, Cubs, Giants, Diamondbacks, Rockies, Oakland Athletics. That definitely benefits the Athletics and the Cubs. In the West, so you get the Cactus League West. It's
Right.
Dodgers, White Sox, Reds, Indians, Angels. So Dodgers, I would say, are still favorites there. You got to see what the Angels do there. And who knows if there's going to be wild cards or anything, how that's going to come into play. And then the Northwest, I think this really benefits the Brewers because they're going to be with the Padres, Mariners, Rangers, and Royals. That's probably going to be the worst division in all the realignment. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with those two statements. I think the Dodgers fit from the West. I know the Reds are an improved bunch. I know they got Trevor Bauer in the offseason, but still need to translate it to games. The White Sox are young. They're on the rise. They're up and coming, probably another year or two away. So the Dodgers will benefit from a young team, right? And the Indians, they've been good the last couple of years, starting to kind of fade a little bit, get older. They're in transition. The Angels are always a mixed bag. You don't know what you're going to get, right? So the Dodgers seem pretty much a lock for that division, I would say. And then we got the Northwest here with the Brewers. I agree with your assessment too. I think the Brewers really luck out here. I'm not sure. I think the Padres are kind of in the same boat as the White Sox, where they're both young teams. They're on the rise. They would have been poised, I think, to make a run at 500 this year and probably take off next year. With everything going on, I don't know if you're going to see as much improvement with those young teams as you necessarily would in a normal season. The Mariners aren't good. The Royals aren't good. So the only challenge I think for the Brewers here will probably be the Rangers, and I think the Brewers just across the board have a little more talent, right? So.
Right, and you have to keep in mind if they're going to go with this plan here, where it's talking about maybe 2 or 3 games. 2 or 3 time slots of games per day, and probably no off days really, and doubleheaders. Rosters are going to have to expand at least to somewhere in the 30s, I would think, especially when there's not going to be any minor league season, so you're not going to be able to call people up so easily. I would probably think you're looking at like a 33-man roster, and like you have like 4 inactive pitchers per game, so you just whoever's not starting is inactive. I think the rosters are going to have to be expanded up until at least 30 active players.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think a lot of guys are going to be necessarily ready in time. A lot of people have had their spring training regimens affected by all this. They were never really able to get going, or they started and they stopped and they haven't been able to resume since. And some players have home gyms in their house or have means of being able to get into shape and to stay in shape. Others, especially guys who are younger, who haven't seen a second or a third contract yet necessarily, don't have that luxury, right? So, I agree with you. I think it's certainly possible. I think it's very possible that we might get one amended rule where you might see a 30-man, 32-man, 33-man roster for the duration of the season, right? And instead of going with a 40-man in September, you might just see a larger uniform roster across the board. But that will remains to be seen what they're going to do.
Well, the thing here is the Mets are the big losers if these are actual divisions, but they also kind of luck out because with the universal DH, you could have the horrendous Robinson kind of DH, and you could also have Cespedes DH. So. Maybe it's not all bad, but terrible division.
Now fans are gonna cry over the universal DH. Oh, boo-hoo! The pitcher not gonna be able to hit this year. Great, how will we survive?
Well, what does this do for Shohei Ohtani? I guess
I don't know.
Can they not DH him when he's pitching? Probably not. So, but The alignment maybe works out. We'll see. This is all hearsay at this point. I think MLB is really trying to capitalize on the market right now. They want to be the first sport back because everyone is craving sports right now, Joe. And I think the ratings will be crazy good for MLB games off the bat, but you also have to factor this in. How are these things going to be broadcast? Because, they can't